So why not stay for a while? Trials spelled with a Z. Trials
Welcome to another edition of Trials with a Z. We have our special guest, Nick, our music director today. Nick, welcome back. And Amanda, who I think was caught in circles in the air over Las Vegas for a while. Mm-hmm. And of course, our guest tonight, Jimmy Smith, UFC MMA fighter, host of Sirius XM's Unlocking the Cage, live from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
That is me.
And UFC Fight Camp.
Yeah.
Awesome. Welcome. Thank you for coming today, Jimmy. Now, I'm very intrigued. I don't know a lot about UFC fighting. I'll set the ground rules.
I can fill you on literally everything.
I can't wait. So to give
Yes.
my background, what I remember from growing up in the 80s was the WWF was big. The Hulk Hogan. Now that stuff is choreographed. I'll call it choreographed.
I did Monday Night Raw for a year and a half.
Beautiful.
So I did
so you're an expert
all
in
of
that
last
field
year,
as well.
yeah.
Got it. So tell me a little bit about how. First, tell me a little bit about how you got your start in the industry, and then maybe we'll talk about the evolution from this sort of choreographed wrestling and boxing, maybe to the UFC.
Oh, sure. All right. Well, so I'm just super lucky to get in MMA. Basically, I was a wrestler in high school. I went to UCLA. I'm from Southern California, and this jiu-jitsu coach was there, and he said, "Hey, why don't you come to my jiu-jitsu class?" And I didn't know what he was talking about. I had no idea what he was talking about. And I said, sure. And I just showed up, and I was naturally pretty good at it. And then I'm driving through Huntington Beach. I'm from Long Beach, California. And I saw a sign that said jiu-jitsu. And I just pulled over, and it turned out to be Tito Ortiz's team, who was the original pioneer in MMA. So I was very lucky. Everybody trained there. Everybody went through there. I fought with Chuck Liddell. I fought with Tito Ortiz. I fought with Rampage Jackson. I fought with everybody who was big in Southern California at the time, Dan Henderson and stuff. So it was a big team, and I went through that system, whatever you want to call it, and then I started fighting professionally. And then at the end of my MMA career, actually during my MMA career, I got an audition to do a show called Fight Quest for the Discovery Channel that I went around different countries doing different martial arts. And that's how I got in the broadcast TV side of it. I hosted a TV show for the Discovery Channel. And so that's what got me into commentary and all the other stuff I've been doing. It's really from that, yeah. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And how old were you again whenever you got your start?
Jesus. I started fighting when I was right out of college, so 23-ish. Is when I started fighting. And then the whole TV thing, I turned 30 filming the show in Mexico City. I was doing boxing in Mexico City. So my late 20s is when I got into TV and broadcasting and all the stuff I do now. Yeah.
Interesting. So when I was in first grade, I took a karate class. Karate was very popular in the 80s, right? And our instructor, the first thing he said is, it's not karate, it's called karate. So no, he was an American, so it wasn't as though he was really giving us probably a perfect pronunciation. And so it's karate. And then the second thing he said, now this is some guy, 30 years old or whatever, and we're little kids, 6 years old. If you break someone's arm with karate, I will break your arm. If you break someone's leg with karate, I will break your leg. So have you ever had an experience like that with a dojo master at any of these?
Can I cuss on here, by the way?
Yes.
All right.
Jacob has the mute button, so
be
free.
So we had one of the things about Fight Quest is I went around and did different styles that I wasn't that used to, that were a little more traditional and more into the mold of karate and stuff like that. And we're doing one, I'm not going to out what style it was, but the guy went by this huge title, and that's always a dead giveaway. They don't know what they're talking about.
Got it. Okay.
I'll look out I am great grandmaster so-and-so. Whenever they have like a bunch of, in jiu-jitsu, they go by their first name.
He had us call him something. I don't remember what it was. Like master. I think it was master whatever. Or
anything more than master or professor, anything more than that is a dead giveaway that something's wrong. Okay? So anyway, this guy went by this huge name, and I kept beating up all his students in the show to the point of like we're having trouble filming the show because I'm supposed to learn stuff.
Right.
And I was so much better at what he was teaching than the people he had me fighting that it was like embarrassing. We're trying to make a show out of it. But it was the similar kind of great grandmaster anything is always a dead giveaway that.
Got it. I'm pretty sure he was a grandmaster something.
Something, yes.
Yeah.
In actual fighting, so people know what they're doing in MMA and boxing. Go by their first name, generally speaking. They go by something simple, so professor's as good as it gets. I always, people call me professor, it always kind of weirds me out in jiu-jitsu. I'm like, just Jimmy. Just
Jimmy.
Call me Jimmy.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay, well, if we train together, I'll use Jimmy.
Eric Nixick, who does Extreme Couture here in Las Vegas, If you go to Eric Nick's place, it's Eric. Eric. I would walk in, Eric, how you doing? You know, I wouldn't. Grandmaster Eric. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. So that's a dead giveaway, generally speaking.
Okay. Well, I'll keep my eye out. I think at the time I was too young to I knew something was up, but I gotta tell the truth. I bought the hype.
I think you get a pass because you said you were 6 years old. So I
Six,
think
maybe 7.
The blood sport years.
First grade.
Well, that's what we all thought.
Yeah.
That's what we all thought.
So I did get they had this belt system there. I don't know if it's an authentic belt system. I think there was like a white belt, a yellow belt.
Yes.
I think orange belt.
Yes.
Green is where I stopped. I think there was a green belt.
You are correct.
Okay,
Yes.
that's I attained green belt status in this particular.
Kids have a ton
curriculum.
of belts. Like in jiu-jitsu,
okay,
kids get
that's
orange
the
and
key.
yellow, and adults don't
What's
do that.
the adult
Yeah.
belt system? Is it
White, blue, purple, brown, black.
Got it.
That's it.
Got it.
In jiu-jitsu, that's it.
And are there different? I've heard this thing too, like degrees. Like
Yes.
Okay, so that's legit.
Yeah, you get stripes, and then when you
okay.
stripes lead you to the next belt.
Because I feel like they always say that about like Elvis Presley, like he was a something degree black belt. Elvis. Anyway,
Certain styles give black belts out to kids.
okay. So there's not really
if you're a
consistent
child,
thing.
you should not have a black belt. In jiu-jitsu, you can't get above blue belt till you're 17, 16. So the hardest division in the world is the World Championships juvenile blue belt, because they've been training their whole life and they can't get above blue belt till they're 17. So when they turn 17, they are monsters, basically black belt level, but they're not allowed to move past it. So
there's an artificial ceiling.
there's an artificial ceiling. So
Okay.
the World Championship 17-year-old blue belt is, I would have trouble beating those guys. And I've been doing it 20 years because they're really brown belts. They just weren't allowed to get past it. Yeah, so
Got it. And tell me a little bit more actually about jiu-jitsu specifically as a discipline versus other martial arts.
They'll break everything on you. That's what they do. It's a grappling art. So take
okay.
you down, break something on you, which what it does in real life. Like people always ask me, because I've trained in everything. They said, "Oh man, what's the most effective martial art?" I hear that all the time. The problem is, if I'm doing boxing or Muay Thai or anything like that, and I have to hit you, I'm gonna err on the side of hitting you too hard. I'm all okay. If something's on, I don't know who this person is. My life might be in danger. I'm gonna hit you as hard as I possibly can, and there might be a problem. I might really hurt you. You might hit your head and die. You know, jiu-jitsu, any grappling art lets me go, do you want to be an idiot or you want me to hurt you? Because once I have you locked up, I can literally go, hey, dude, are you going to calm down now or am I going to break your arm? And I've done that. Been like, hey, dude, stop
outside of the ring.
Stop now, okay? Just stop it or I'm going to break your nose in front of all these people. It's embarrassing. What do you want? And it just gives you a level of control that's way higher than anything else. Like having a wrestler just grab you and go wha-boom and you go down, which I've had a million times in training. It's a humbling experience. And someone who's never been through that and they have no idea, you know, you can stop a fight before it has to start. Like I don't have to hurt you. I just make you look stupid. There's a great video going around from a couple years ago. Matt Serra here in Vegas.
Right.
Some dude was starting something in a restaurant and he mounted him and held both of his hands and was like, dude, stop. Like a kid, like you'd hold a child. Because Matt Serra's, a world-class black belt. And the dude couldn't go anywhere and just looked like an idiot. And Matt's like, dude, stop or I'm going to break something on you. Stop it. Right. And it's like handling a kid.
Got it. So, well, speaking of children, have you seen this thing with Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg?
Unfortunately, yes.
Have you seen this challenge that they? So first of all, what they said a cage match. Is there such thing as a cage? What's
Yes.
a cage? Oh, there is a cage match. Okay.
They're all in cages. They just call them different things.
Oh, okay. They're all
UFC
cages.
goes octagon. You never say cage. You have to say octagon.
Octagon.
Other
Got it.
ones say in the whatever. PFL has one now that's like I forget what they call it, like the smart cage. It's a cage. It's a cage.
Okay.
It's a
Okay,
fence.
so instead of a boxing ring, there's a cage.
Right.
I think that you're thinking of like WWE.
Like that's a
like
prop
the
where you're
cage.
swinging off the top.
It's not that dissimilar. It's just shorter.
Really? It's just shorter.
Yeah.
But you
It's
don't
not
use
that
it for
dissimilar.
leverage.
It's
do
just
you?
you're not.
Oh, you can.
You're not allowed to grab it.
Okay.
But when you put somebody against it and smash them
Okay,
against
so
it sucks.
That works. Yeah.
It
Okay.
sucks.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, that's true. I think I've seen people like kind of run a little bit to get out of a hold, maybe.
You're thinking of Anthony Pettis, who ran up the side and kicked a dude in the head.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So is that
Called a
like-
Showtime kick. Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, okay.
As
So
long
you
as
just
don't
can't
grab
use your
it.
hands.
Can't use your hands, yeah. But you can use it for...
I just think normally when people are trying to do something like that, the other fighter can anticipate it because it takes a long time to do something showboaty and probably knock them out before
You
they.
usually can, but I've seen a little bit where sometimes when something's super showy, and I always tell people this when someone has a funky style and I'm coaching them, don't become a spectator. We all have that when someone does something crazy, Roy Jones Jr. back in the day would drop his hands and you'd go, what is he? Bang, and the left hook would hit you before you knew what was going on. Don't become a spectator. Don't turn off. And some people do that. They'll do something wild and crazy, and the other guy will go, what is he? And then they get knocked out. You go, don't start watching. It's react, do something. Yeah, it's a problem.
God, so do you think it's all bluster? Do you think could they actually? How would that work? Could they actually like?
What the question I have for everybody? Why does this happen in my sport? Like,
why have you been brought into this?
But no, it's like, have you seen Adam Sandler on the basketball court? All these clips of him like at the Y, and he's a decent basketball player,
right?
At the Y.
Yeah.
All right, okay. NBA teams aren't going, get him on the court. And, only our sport does this, where billionaires who go to a jiu-jitsu tournament here in Las Vegas and throw a stick, and you'll hit somebody better than both those guys combined.
Right.
But they're billionaires. So they're going to get more attention in a way that in other sports you wouldn't get, right? So what bothers me, and I know this isn't what you expect me to say, but like as a purist of the sport who's been around for a long time, I don't pay money to watch non-professionals suck.
Right.
And that's all you're going to – no one, once again, would put Adam Sandler on an NBA court and think he's going to compete. And Adam Sandler, by comparison, is much better at basketball than either one of these guys is at jiu-jitsu, right, or what they're calling MMA. And you see them training with – CKB is a big team in New Zealand, and Mark Zuckerberg was down there training.
Right, I saw it.
All right. It's like a video of somebody wrestling with a bear. All right, playing with the bear. If the bear wants to wrestle you to kill you, they're playing with the bear. The bear is playing with them. Same thing, we see Mark Zuckerberg standing next to Israel Adesanya, and you go, he's training with Israel Adesanya. He's
hanging out,
messing with him and playing, anyone at that gym could rip his head off without a single thought. So the idea that billionaires get a participation trophy for doing what everybody else does.
Right.
Just like, hey, we do jiu-jitsu too. I know a million people that do jiu-jitsu that don't get national attention for doing it. You're just a billionaire.
Right.
So it's one of those things that bugs me that it's getting so much attention when so many struggling fighters who are so much better aren't getting any. It's like, oh, God.
Right.
I roll my eyes at it every time. But they might, I guess, fight. I don't think they will. I think they'll push it right up to the edge where they get all the attention they can, and then they'll find a reason not to do it.
Now could they what's the risk? So with a fighter that is not a fighter, right?
Yeah.
With the amateur guy. Because at first I was thinking the risk for injury would be lower, but maybe it's higher because they don't know what they're doing. Maybe and they're not in shape. What would be the risk if they were to do it? What would be the risk for injury?
They're real spazzy. New people are real spazzy. They're all, like the joke is that black belts don't hurt you, white belts hurt. They're just super awkward and weird, and they don't know what they're doing, and they don't know how to defend themselves, so they'll get hit and not change what they're doing. So the odds they get really hurt are pretty slim.
Okay.
Right? They just don't hit hard enough to do anything.
Yeah.
And their submissions are going to suck. So unless they really wrench on something, they're probably not going to break it, even if they tried. It'll just look really bad.
Right.
I mean, it's non-professional.
So sorry to stay on this tangent.
No, please.
So how long would it take? Is it even possible? I guess there are two questions. One is it possible, or does it depend so much on your genetics and innate ability? But if it is possible, how long would it take? Not where they could compete with a real, but where they could get in and not be embarrassing. You could watch it and enjoy it.
I did a thing. Do you remember Made? There's a show called Made where they took people and made them like, I want to be a rapper, and I want to who wanted a certain profession.
I thought you were
Made.
Like cleaning the house.
No, like Made, MADE, Made. Yeah, it was on
it.
MTV and then it was on CMT, right?
Got it.
I did a Made episode where I took a housewife and made her a fighter in 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay, so if they were serious and disciplined and so forth, they could, again, they couldn't compete at any real level, but they could get up there and put on a show.
She won an amateur fight in 6 weeks. She won her fight. She won. She knocked the other girl out.
Wow. I think I saw that episode. I'm not even kidding. I think I watched that.
Maybe I should challenge the other EDC CEOs to a cage match. Maybe you can give me some training tips.
If you put in,
if I really was disciplined and wasn't, I'm joking, but if I wasn't joking, how long would it take? A year before? Again, not where I could fight a real person,
right? Where you wouldn't look like an idiot.
Where I wouldn't look like an idiot. Where you could watch it and not cringe and say, "Oh, that guy tried."
Good try, guy. If you put everything in, you could do for. I had my first fight in 9 months training.
Oh, wow.
But I was a wrestler in high school.
Yeah.
Whatever. I had an athletic background or whatever. I had done jiu-jitsu. But 9 months of jiu-jitsu, I won my first My first fight. Yes. So you could do it 6 months to a year, depending
months
on
to a
your,
year, okay.
your athletic background.
That's it. Done. The challenge is out.
For what it's worth, I think that you could beat Elon Musk right now.
You could probably beat him right now.
Oh, Musk. Yeah.
Musk for sure. Musk for sure.
But Zuck, he's saying Zuck's all bluster too. So
They're both. I mean,
But you're also what, 6'3"?
close.
Yeah.
But it's not height. Does height even help?
all right. There's no bad build for fighting.
Okay.
Use your build.
So it's an
Mike Tyson
extra
was short.
tool in your toolbox.
Mike Tyson was short for a heavyweight.
Right.
He knew how to get in and hit hard. So he made the other person's length a liability. Lennox Lewis was very tall. He had a great jab. He used it very effectively. So whatever build you have, use it. Don't fight short if you're tall. Don't fight tall if you're short.
Got it. So how do you fight short versus tall? Because before the show started, Amanda was talking about how some fighters, I guess, want to keep you up and some fighters want to fight you down.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Okay, you're 6'3".
Yeah.
How's your reach? Probably pretty good.
Actually,
Probably decent, or is it short?
I am afflicted with a very long torso and short limbs,
Okay.
so my reach is weak.
All right, doesn't matter. But they got to work hard to get to you.
Yeah.
Because you're tall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Right.
true.
So
Yeah.
all I would do, and this is my advice, whenever I deal with a tall guy,
Okay.
I go, snipers don't run across the field. Snipers sit and wait for you.
Got it.
Because they have 2 miles of range and you don't. They got to come to you. I would teach you, stand exactly where you are.
Okay.
And make the person come to you for 15 minutes. My whole drill with you would be footwork. Make them find you, because as they're coming to you, you're the one sniping at them. You're a sniper. You don't run across the battlefield looking for somebody to shoot. You sit where you are. You wait for them to come to you. And so for a taller fighter, a fighter with better range, make them come to you literally the entire time, and you tag them up. And then when they do something stupid, you knock them out. If you're the shorter fighter with less range, my whole deal with you is you got to get close to him. So it's a lot, old Mike Tyson drills are great with Kevin Rooney, where his head just looked like it was on a swivel because he was short. They knew, like, you're not going to out-jab anybody. You got to get in the entire time. So that's the first thing you look at is, like, what build am I working with, right? Are you tall and long? Are you short and stocky? From there, we go to the strategy. But, yeah, if you're 6'3", all I would do is footwork drills with you and make them run around chasing your tall ass while you use your jab on them.
Nice. I think we're getting.
Now we know. Now we know what your first lesson's going to be.
We got any training music here? Cue up.
I was like, it's not Rocky. If it's not Rocky, this guy sucks. I know I just met him, but if it's not Rocky, he sucks.
Our rep
Yes.
is getting stronger and stronger. This is intriguing. I've got to look into this because I'd have to make a commitment. I don't think anyone's going to step up. If I throw down, what do they say? Throw down the gauntlet.
The woman I trained.
Yeah.
I spent the first day putting her through a bunch of drills and going, what are you naturally kind of good at? Like just off the top, what can she do?
Right.
And I found out she had a good right hand. She was comparatively hard to take down, and she got really upset when she got hit.
Oh.
So she was aggressive.
You used that anger.
She didn't get hit and go, oh my God. She was like, she got mad. And I went, okay, we're going to work on the right hand. We're going to work on your takedown defense. We're going to make sure you don't get submitted. And that's all I did for 6 weeks. And so right before the fight, the producer turns to me and goes, man, you've done a really good job. I think she might win this. And I said, if the other girl angles and leg kicks, she's going to kick her ass. I didn't have time to teach her how to deal with everything. If this girl has some strategy that's weird.
How long was the
I didn't have
total
time.
fight?
Oh, how long was it supposed to be, or how long was it?
Both.
It was supposed to be, I think, 3 3-minute rounds, an amateur fight. And she beat her in like a minute.
Wow.
Did she get her in submission or knockout?
She
Or?
TKO'd her, got on top of her, and just beat her, and they stopped it. What she did is, I had taught her, always keep your hands up and your chin down, no matter what. And so the referee goes, here, come here, you, come here. And they were explaining the rules. And she walked out to the center like this, like that. And I went, she's going to do great. Because she remembered. And even when the ref explained the rules, she was like that. And then you can touch gloves, she does this. Because I told her never put your hands down. Well, she didn't know when you talk to her referee, you can put your hands down.
For a minute.
But she took me so literally that I went, she's gonna win this fight.
And she
took everything else
wasn't panicking and forgetting
Nope.
everything.
And after the fight, she just cracked this chick. Boom! And then she was like, looked at her and goes, wow. And she goes, boom, and hit her again. The lady panicked and tried to take her down. She threw her, got on top of her, beat her, and they stopped the fight. And she told me later, she goes, you had taught me to stay so small that when I saw her, I was like, man, her chin's right there. Bing! And she goes, I just hit her in the chin. And then her chin was still there. And I hit her in the chin again because you had taught me to be so tiny and hide my chin that I thought her chin was like sticking right out there. And she's like, just hit her. I just did what you told me. So yeah, but if the person that comes with any kind of strategy is way different, I don't have time to teach you the phone book. I don't know how to teach you how to check a kick. That takes a long time. So a lot of it is you can only learn so much in 6 months to a year. If I got you ready for a fight in 6 months to a year, I got to work with what I have.
Trials with Scott Wiley.